Hey guys, early morning video. It's only like 8 o'clock, but I saw this and it's always nice when one of them agrees with us, like something that we've been saying for the longest time. So Gal Gadot, who I've said before, she is pretty classy. You don't really hear a whole lot from her. Yeah, she's had some stupid takes, because she is one of them Hollywood elitists, but for the most part, she's quiet. She doesn't really cause that many problems when it comes to life. You don't see her, showing this off, or oh my god, look at her assless this at the no, she's pretty classy, absolutely gorgeous. um and it's always nice when one of their people agree with what we've been saying this entire time. So she we're founding the comics Twitter on Twitter. They said Gal Gadot rebukes Hollywood's misogyny narrative. Moviegoers do want to see movies with women if the story is good. Have I not been saying that for ages now? I talk every time there's a thing where you have like Polygon, you're talking about video game wise, and I said the same thing with movies. I said, look at Rey from Star Wars. Look at just we remember the scene where with Yoda and Luke training, we see the trials and everything that Luke had to go through just to be able to use the Force and master it. This woman, this girl, this no one comes out of nowhere, suddenly knows how to fight with a lightsaber, and basically for her, it's like learning how to ride a bike. It's like, oh, just hang on, it takes me a few seconds to get used to. It came out of nowhere. She's a no one, and suddenly, oh, I can do everything better than the boys. She's a terribly written character, and that's why people cannot stand her. But you have some amazing, well written female characters. I think where for the millionth time, yes, once again, Ripley, um, Sigourney Weaver, Alien. Uh, Come on. Um, Gina Davis had a lot of well written characters in her movies. Um, and those were, you know, 80s, 70s, 80s. So we don't have a problem with female characters. The fact that she's kind of calling them out, I hope she's ready to be called a freaking racist, misogynist, MAGA supporter, or whatever, because that's always a go to excuse. If you call out their bullshit, suddenly you're a MAGA supporter. Because that side is incapable of thinking beyond MAGA, which is completely ridiculous. It just shows how they, and it's so ironic. They call them, they pride themselves in being college educated. They look down on us, the ones who don't go to college. They pride themselves on being college educated, and yet they're some of the dumbest motherfuckers you'll find. So, isn't it ironic? Um, let's actually see the article itself. Moviegoers do want to see movies with women if the story is good. Same thing. I love playing video games with women. If the story, if the I I've said this before, and once again I can go back to it. I need a reason to be attached to this character. I need a reason to care about them. If they're a poorly written character and it's a female who's just inserted into a comic or movie or video game, and if they're just a woman simply because people are like, oh, we gotta check these in representation, I'm not gonna care about them because they're always gonna be poorly written. When you go to a movie or read a comic or watch a show or play a video game, these characters you want to be attached to. You want a reason to play these games or watch them. You want to see if they're the villain. Most of the time, you want to see them fail. If they're the hero, even though they're you feel what they're going through. You want them to succeed. You want them to come out stronger on the other side. Once their trials and tribulations are over, you want them to be stronger. Not only if it's like a superhero thing, like more powerful, but also stronger as a person. But everything we get now, we have these females. It's like they're saying, "Oh, making James Bond a female." Most people would probably agree that James Bond should just stay male. If they want to make him black, that's fine. If Idris Elba wanted to play James Bond, good looking guy, great actor, I'm sure we wouldn't have a problem with him as Double O 007. But a female, they would put a female in that role just for a female to be in that role. And they would be so poorly written. And we would not care about them at all because there'd be no reason to care about them. Um, Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny. You have this woman who shows up, and apparently she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm better than Indiana Jones." I was like, "Oh, I know you're a legendary explorer, but I'm a woman," kind of thing. So it's the same thing. It's if you want a female style Indiana Jones, which you kind of have Lara Croft already, um, they need to be well, and Lara Croft, like the first incarnation of her was well written. And apparently over in England or something, she's like a fucking icon. So it just shows you the staying power and just the power she has across the world. But we don't like if Ray. I go back to Ray. If Ray was a well-written character and we got to see kind of the same steps and the same process and the same trials that that like Luke had to go through, we would have more respect for her. If we saw her actually like training with the lightsaber, if we saw her trying to master the Force, trying to lift things up, we would. But it's like we don't really see any of that, and it's people just. That's why they called her Mary Sue. It's like, well, she just shows up. She pretty much knows how to use the Force and everything. It's just, like I said, it's more like learning to ride a bike. It takes a few seconds to get used to, and then suddenly you're riding, and you've mastered that. But anyway, Gal Gadot, who stars as Rachel Stone in the upcoming Netflix film Heart of Stone, recently shared comments that rebuke Hollywood's misogyny narrative. So how important it is to put was asked. Okay, so they're asking her, how important is it to you to portray these types of roles? What do you hope audiences take away from your performances? All right, so she responds, I guess I just got lucky playing very strong, powerful characters. Heart of Stone was something I always wanted to do, always felt I was a big fan of the genre. I'm a big fan of Mission Impossible and Bond movies. I never had the opportunity as a girl watching myself in one of those, and I'm sorry, but the whole representation thing, it's like you don't need to see yourself on screen or in a comic or whatever to feel connected to the character. As I've said, I don't want to see big fat ugly guys as main characters. I want to see those night like Henry Cavill types. They're nice, they're toned. I don't want to see someone who looks like me. You know, so that whole I need to see myself on screen in order to be invested in this game. That's just stupid. That's ignorant. Let's see. Watching myself, I was always wondering if there's room for something like that, but female driven. Didn't they do what was it like Ocean's 8 or whatever that all female version. They did that failed. They did that Charlie's Angels reboot that failed. Ghostbusters 2016 was a failure. So, especially lately, when you have something female driven, it usually fails because they're more interested in the look, we have representation, we have women, we have yeah, but they're poorly written characters. The story is terrible, the characters are terrible. You're not giving us a reason to care. You're just telling us, go see this movie, spend your money. You're doing the bare minimum. You're just creating female characters. You're not putting any time and effort to give them personality and a reason for us to want to see it. I mean, it's 2023. I shouldn't have to tell people how to get people others interested in a movie or a comic or a video game or whatever. It has to be good. You can't just, it's like you can't keep grinding that crap out and expect people to keep seeing it. That's why you see movies now just they're going down. The Flash down, Fast X down. I think what was it called? Elemental or Elements or whatever. I think that's actually down, or if it has come out yet. Um, but people are just getting tired of this, lather, rinse, repeats type of mindset that they have. It's like they don't learn. We want well written characters. We don't just want representation. That should really be last. When it comes to making movies and games and comics, you want characters that people care about. She continued, and I think I got my confidence only after Wonder Woman. Great movie. And her as Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman came out, and this became this huge success. And that's another thing. Wonder Woman. Men don't like female superheroes. Wonder Woman. It's just it's just, people are just um this was that was like the thing that really proved to me that wait, why do people say that men don't want to exactly, they do want to see movies with women if the story is good, if the action is there, if it makes sense. They're all for it. Thank you, gal. She is one swell gal. She said exactly what I was saying. But she's a misogynist MAGA supporter now. I hope she likes being blacklisted, because people are going to see this and be like, oh, well, we can't have that. We can't have that. Ace Department. Speaking of, I'll show that in a second. But yeah, basically she's saying that men just want not just men, but people in general are just, at this point, we're craving well-written characters. It doesn't have to be female. They could be transgender for all we care, as long as they are well written. If you just throw a fucking character at us and we're like, they're transgender, you have to care about them. No, you need to give us a reason to care. We're not going to care about them just because the color of their skin or the fucking sexual identity of them or who they prefer to sleep with. We're not going to care. You need to give us a reason to care about this character. I'm not going to care about a character just because it's a dude or just because it's a woman or black. Or you need to give me a reason. And that's what these people fail to understand. And Gal is, she's like, I know that people have no problem with with female leads, because Wonder Woman, I'm kind of Wonder Woman, and people love the movie. People love that incarnation of Wonder Woman. So it's like they do want it as long as it's well written, as long as it's a good story, as long as it's something that can grip you and keep you invested in this character, in their story, in their growth. So I feel bad for Gal, because again, she normally agrees with everything they say, that side, but now she's going to be considered a racist, misogynist, MAGA supporter, and because again, they're not smart enough to think of any other kind of insult. Oh, you don't agree with what I say? You must be a MAGA supporter. Like, how many times have I come out in defense for your stupid, your ideas? Also, someone who also is like that with J.K. Rowling, where she's the same person who makes Dumbledore gay for no reason, says, "Oh, Hermione, I never said Hermione wasn't, Hermione was white." she says one thing and people attack her. She did this the other day, or yesterday, actually. Going to have, so the person says, suck my dick, bitch. Going to have to pass. Last time I sucked something that tiny, it got stuck between my front teeth. Now, I don't know what she was sucking that got caught between her teeth. It could be candy or something. Um, but everyone is like, yeah, I like to report a murder. Um, oh yes, here we are. This is the burn unit. Um, yeah, that was the equivalent of breaking out the steel chair. They call the ambulance. I love this one. It's so dramatic. Hello? I would like to report a murder. So, she's the same thing. She agrees with everything for the most part, but then when she says something you don't agree with, suddenly she's MAGA, she's misogynist, racist, transphobe, this, that. And it's pathetic because that's all they have to use. That's all they have to use. They can't back it up with facts because they don't actually believe in facts. They're the side that says trust the science. But then when you show them the science, it's like, um, well, I feel like it does matter what you feel. I've just given you facts. As they say, facts don't care about your feelings. But yeah, it's nice to know someone in Hollywood, especially one of them, is kind of sticking up and saying, people do want to see female characters. They just have to be good. It's not that hard. You have all these writing teams that are apparently mostly women now, and none of them can write a good character. I guess that's why so many of them are Mary Sue's, where they're just better than the dudes. Because they're like, oh, I'm a woman, I'm in charge. We're just going to make them better than everyone. Oh, right, they can do everything the men can do, but better. They're stronger than the men. They're smarter than the men. Men need to constantly rely on them. Yep, there you go. Perfect female character. And that's what we get all the time. We get the ones who can do everything the men can do, but better. Ray. They're stronger than the men. And, it's just like this checklist that they go down. But she's completely right. It's what I've been saying for ages. It's what other people have been saying for ages. And we just get called racist, misogynist, MAGA supporters, this and that, because that side is completely fucking stupid and again, they pride themselves in being college educated, but yet they're some of the dumbest motherfuckers you'll ever meet. But hearing it from someone on their side, they're gonna be like, God, what do we do now? Um, so anyway, uh, yeah, Gal Gadot being based. Gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. And remember, there's stupid people on both sides. It's not just one side, not just there's stupid people on both sides. Um oh, I heard something. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, tell me your favorite character. Your favorite woman character. And you know what I mean. You know, Mary Sue, someone who's like Ray, who just shows up. Don't really care about her, but somehow she's able to do everything the men can do, but better. She's poorly written. One that's memorable to you in the past couple of years, or maybe someone even in the past. Let me know below. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.